Good evening. What's going on there, folks? Earthmaster here, jumping in on this Tuesday evening. Almost did it again. May 4th, 2021 to date, 6:47 p.m. West Coast time. Latest quake on the globe is a 2.6 over here around Alaska. This comes off after a couple moderate-sized earthquakes on the globe around the Fiji Islands area and also towards the Indonesia area as well. Go ahead and check that out on the USGS map here. You can see those two red circles indicating the moderate earthquake activity that I just talked about. Right around the Tonga Trench. Fiji, of course, over here to the northwest. Pretty good distance there. These are pretty shallow quakes. Right there around the Tonga Trench area at about 10 kilometers for that 5.2. Over here we did see that's a little bit older earthquake activity. The most recent two are this one back over here around Tonga. And also this one that I just clicked on is 5.7. Pretty good sized earthquake around the Indonesia area. West side, about 23.1 kilometers below the surface. Kind of ramping up, if you will, in earthquake activity. We also have seen just a little bit of uptick in earthquake activity up here near Japan. A couple upper fours. This one here, 4.9, just off the coast. I got Tokyo down here, a little bit further to the southwest by about 150 miles or so. This 4.9 striking at about 9.4 kilometers below surface. A couple earthquakes up here as well. One of them fairly deep, not super deep, 57 kilometers for that 4.8, and a 4.9 striking to the southwest. Just right after that, 4.3, they're at 35 kilometers below surface for those earthquakes. So you got a little bit of uptick, just a little bit of uptick in earthquake activity, folks, kind of ramping up here. But I'm still kind of watching this area. It's still kind of a target area for my binoculars, if you will, when it comes to potential large earthquake activity. South America region getting in on some of the action today with some renewed deep earthquake activity into the subduction zone of the Peru-Chile Trench. Down dip downstream for this 4.4, 193 kilometers below the surface there. A little bit further upstream towards the surface, but still somewhat deep. 114 kilometers for that 4.3, and also a 3.8 there in the Chile area. A pair of earthquakes down here near Santiago. These are relatively shallow at the surface, right at the Chile Trench, Peru-Chile Trench area, right around the subduction zone where it starts to do its thing there underneath the South American continent there. Let's see what these are. These are, what do we got? 10 kilometers for that 4.7, and then a 4.1 here at 19 kilometers. So relatively shallow there at that trench. Zooming in over here to the west coast. It looks a little bit more active than it did last night or the day before, right? Just not a whole lot of movement here. But today, this is a 2.5 map. A little bit more activity showing up. Also down here, or I should say up here in the Cascadia subduction zone. 3.0 around the Eureka area, just off the coast of Eureka into the southern section of the Cascadia. Relatively deep as well, 23 kilometers for that 3.0. And then another somewhat deep earthquake. Well, the 3.0 is 23 kilometers. Well, they're both 23. 2.8, they're also at 23 kilometers, but a little bit further towards the Mendocino Triple Point Junction there, but nonetheless right there on the Cascadia megathrust area. Not a whole lot to report there into Washington as far as the 2.5 earthquake activity goes. Now for the all magnitudes, things are starting to light up a little bit. You can see all the movement here along the west coast. And it looks like it's ramping up, no doubt. Stretching all the way down here from, as I mentioned, these pair of earthquakes up here along the southern end of the Cascadia. Down through the Bay Area, along the Calaveras Fault System, into the San Andreas Fault System. There's some microquake activity taking place. While not a whole lot of major movement, there is definitely some widespread microquake activity shaping up here along the west coast, and also down here along the Long Beach area, just off the coast of Long Beach there, 2.6, Hermosa Beach, 12.9 kilometers below the surface for that earthquake out there in the ocean. No major swarms really to report down here, folks. Salton Sea looks pretty quiet. San Jacinto Fault area, microquake activity as usual. We are seeing a little renewed earthquake activity in the Ridgecrest area, the July 4th, July 5th large earthquake sequence there. But no major quakes there to report, not even anything moderate. It's all microquake activity, including Nevada, seeing a little bit of swarming ramping up there. 24 earthquakes or so within this region, all roughly confined around about 39 kilometer southeast of Mina. And these are variable depths out there as well, ranging anywhere from about 12 up to about 4 or 5 kilometers below the surface there. Kind of watching that. What do we got? Intermountain West region, Idaho picking up. And also some movement up here in the Pacific Northwest. Looks like an earthquake there at Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens. Mount Hood's looking pretty quiet. Not a whole lot of major activity to report. Looking at this quake right here into the Crater Lake area. This is kind of interesting. We don't see too much earthquake activity in Crater Lake, although it does have its history, that's for sure. Maybe we'll do an update on that one of these days. A little bit of history on that earthquake, or that volcano up there. Pretty interesting area. So yeah, just for now, a little 1.0, 4.3 kilometers below surface, but something to watch, right? Definitely something to watch. Let's see, Texas, a little bit of earthquake activity scattered about the desert, and some minor activity around the Puerto Rico area. Nothing big, nothing really to write home about, just a couple 2s, maybe a 3 in there as well. Well, it looks like they had a 3.7 way over here to the east. North of St. Martin, it looks like 3.7, some deep earthquake activity out there. North of this island, the valley, 3.7 and a 3.3 at, looks like below 30 kilometers right there. Into the Puerto Rico Trench area. Got to watch that pretty closely. That's a mega quake possibility, no doubt. I did an update on that a couple months back, maybe like a year back now. It's been like a while. Let's see, what do we got here? Let's go ahead and check out the tremor map. This was from yesterday. Let's go ahead and check out today's. I have not seen that myself. Tremor map along the Cascadia. I'm wondering if we're going to see, well, almost 500 epicenters of tremor once again today, May 4th, and mostly confined into the central coast of Oregon once again. This could have a part in what we're seeing with the movement along the Crater Lake and the volcanoes up there to the north. I don't think it's magma or volcanic related. I think it's plate tectonic stress there in the Cascades that would be producing the microquakes there at Crater Lake. But still an enormous amount of tremor being reported here, folks. This is day number, I don't know what. I lost track. It's a pretty significant swarm that's going on there in the tremor department. Let's see if they've done any type of their blog. This is a PNSN network blog, and it goes back a ways. It goes back to past events. Let's see, what do we got here? They just talk about the one back in February. So PNSN network, if you guys are watching this, give us an update. Let us know what's going on, or what you guys think is going on there with all that massive tremor into the central coast of Oregon. What I think it is, and this is my observation, is the lack of activity in this centralized region over the last couple years is finally starting to catch up on itself, while the rest of the normally active tremor areas are relatively quiet. But this specific area, and sometimes here to the north and just in Northern California, but this specific area into the central coast, right around the, what do we got, Bandon over there? Let me see, west of Eugene, Coos Bay, Bandon's, I'm not for sure where Bandon's at on this map here, Lincoln City. This area has just, in past, looking at past tremor, has been relatively quiet, while the rest of the region sees tremor on any given day, any given week. So I think we're kind of playing catch up. Now, what does that mean for the rest of the Cascadia subduction zone? It's could I don't know. I mean, I think it could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. It could be ultimately dipping down here with all this tremor, which it is, creating more of a locked, pressurized area up here along the Cascadia, where I firmly believe this area off the coast here of Oregon, where the Cascadia is locked, where it's locked in, let me show you guys, just off the coast of, we got Eugene over here, Coos Bay. I believe this area right along here is where we could potentially see the next major Cascadia earthquake. I know we talk about a full rupture of the Cascadia subduction zone producing a 9, but I believe this is possibly where it could begin, and this is where we could see that next major quake start to unzip things. So kind of keep an eye on it, folks. It's still looking pretty active today. When will it stop? Who knows? If the PNSN network people are watching, let me know. I'm waiting for a little update, folks. On this activity in the Central Oregon coast area. All right, guys. What do we got? Yellowstone National Park. I don't think we got anything going on there. It's might as well just delete the link from my browser because nothing's going on. There's just nothing going on at Yellowstone. It's been all too quiet. It's scary quiet. I don't know. Maybe Yellowstone's dying, and maybe it's no longer. That hot spot is maybe just getting completely covered up, and it will never be again. Who knows? This activity over here to the east entrance, interference, some type of interference there, not any type of magma intrusion or any type of lava flow or geyser activity. It's just interference. It's not, none of that's showing up on any of the localized stations here. All right, what else we got here, folks? Not a whole lot going on right now. I'm just kind of waiting on the motion of the plates out here on this very fragile Earth we live on. See exactly what's in store. It's just overall, it's looking pretty active, folks. If you look at this map, just all along the Pacific Ring of Fire and down through the South America area, it's just looking active. Looks like we're starting to come alive again. Solar weather. Let's go ahead and check this out real quick. Not a whole lot going on. No noteworthy events to report. In fact, everything looks pretty calm on the surface of the sun. Coronal holes are kind of small, facing away from us to the south. In fact, the 3-day geomagnetic forecast looks pretty dull. 20% chance across the board for the higher latitudes. Everything pretty much in the green. All right, guys, have a good night out there. We're just kind of out here enjoying the evening. It's pretty hot here in California. We hit 95 degrees, and that's not a good thing. Tomorrow's supposed to be about 98 degrees in early May. All right, guys, have a good night. We'll chat you another time. Stay safe out there.